5th annual Strides4CJD Bakersfield Walk-Run event is Sunday morning. This year's event taking place at Harvey Hall Family Plaza at CSUB starting at 9. 23 ABC's own Mark Blaine will be there as the MC, and joining us this morning to talk more about it, the Director of Media Services for Hall Ambulance, Mark Corum. Mark, thanks for being here.
Yeah, good morning. Thanks for having me.
You got your matching and everything.
We got it
Look
going
at
on
this.
today. We coordinated.
Did we copy your shirt for this?
I think we might have.
First of all, let's just start off for those who aren't aware. And obviously, this is still a disease that not much is known about. We're talking about Creutzfeldt-Jakob Disease. The name pronunciation itself is confusing. What have you learned personally about it in the 5 years we've been doing this?
Sure. It's a neurodegenerative disease. It's a prion disease in which proteins misfold in the brain with devastating effect. And so depending on where that occurs in the brain will decide on what kind of symptoms and dysfunctions that you have. Mm-hmm. It's a very rapidly progressing disease. You know, when Mr. Hall, his first noticeable issues became apparent during a management meeting on April 17th, 2018. We did the Pledge of Allegiance. He sat down and started shuffling papers back and forth. And when he started to speak, we couldn't understand what he was saying. And so we thought maybe he had had a stroke, or we didn't know.
And refresh my memory, how long after that did they actually determine what it was?
Yeah, well, he passed on May 19th, but 2 weeks and 7 hours after his diagnosis of sporadic Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease, he lost his battle to CJD. It was very rapid.
The event on Sunday taking place out at Harvey Hall Plaza, how special is that?
It's wonderful. We, the Hall family, spent a lot of time at Cal State Bakersfield watching the Roadrunner games in the Icardo Center.
That's right.
That was where they spent their leisure time together as a family. And so for the opportunity to be able to start and finish the walk at his plaza is going to be very special for all of us.
And where do all the funds go?
So they go to the CJD Foundation based out of Ohio, and they provide medical research grants through the funding that we get through Strides and other revenue sources. And then they do support for families who are currently going through the progression of the disease with a loved one, and then do a lot of awareness with medical providers in the medical community. Because like you said, this is the most unknown disease that there is. It only affects 1 to 2 people per million population in the world, which is about 500 cases each year in the United States.
Well, if people still want to get involved, how do they do so?
So they want to go to Strides, the number 4CJD.com, look up the Bakersfield event. They can either create their own team if they'd like to walk in memory or honor of a loved one currently going through the disease, or they can join Team Big H in memory of Harvey L. Hall.
That's very appropriate, isn't it?
Yeah, no, Mrs. Hall came up with that. We love it.
That's fantastic. Steps off at?
9 o'clock.
But registration takes place from?
Yeah, 9 o'clock is registration. The walk, 1.1 mile leisure walk at 10 a.m., 5K run, 10:30, and then a barbecue to wrap it up.
Mark Corum with Hall Ambulance. Thanks for coming in this morning.
Appreciate it.
We'll see you out there this weekend.
Sounds great.
All right, let's bring in Brian, because that's the most important thing, is what the weather's going to be like when everyone's taking a little stroll on Sunday morning. Brian?
Good morning, everyone. It's going to be beautiful this weekend, no doubt.